Hi guys, and welcome back to Marketing the Madness, where you're dialing in to some of our special episodes where we were recording live on stage at Marketing the Madness Live at the Drum back in October. And I have got another corker of an episode for you. So without further ado, let's go and meet our next guest.
Hello, everyone. I am Sedge, as Katie said. You worked that bit out. I am an exited founder, marketing consultant, agency advisor. I've been knocking around forever and a day, working with the ASOSes, the Nikes, the Red Bull of this world. And the word community has become like the ultimate buzzword. It is very much around, I want to build my audience. I want to build my team. I want to have more. And if you're anyone in this room that thinks, I've got 1 million followers, or I work with a creator with 1 million followers, I've sorted it. I've cracked my community. This is the one for you, because it absolutely is not a community. And for me, a community is not follower count. It is a two-way. It is an energy. It is something that you have chosen to be part of. And so I've brought two different sides of the spectrum together to talk about brands, but also if you want to partner with creators, how you can also tap into their communities to actually get something out of it. So to kick things off, do you want to say who you are? What do you do?
Hello, I am Romi, and although it says on the title Marketing Community Manager, actually today is my first day as a brand manager, so I'm making a shift. Thanks, everyone. But obviously the focus is on community here. I've been at Perfect TED for 2 and a bit years now, so seen a lot of growth, and we'll get into
product placement here too.
Yeah. I work in marketing, as you can tell.
Who are you?
Hey guys, I'm Alex Segal. I'm the managing director of a talent agency called InterTalent. We're 35 years old next year, and I've been there for 13 years. And we're one of probably the largest privately owned entertainment talent agencies in the UK now. So we have a team of about 50. We've got about 10 different divisions, and we represent some of the most well-known talent out there, but all different sides of the spectrum. So on one end of the spectrum, we represent people like Vinnie Jones and Dame Joan Collins and Susanna Reid and Ross Kemp and people like that. And then on the other side, we represent people like Nella Rose and Frances Bourgeois and Ayame, Sorrell and Poppy Hollins and people like that. So we've got a wide spectrum of talent, InterTalent.
I feel like I didn't really explain what Perfect TED was there, so sorry. I think I was too zen after that meditation. But
I am the worst person to be on stage after some meditation with my potty mouth.
But just in case you don't know, Perfect TED is a matcha and energy drinks company. About 3 years ago, 2 out of the 3 co-founders went on Dragon's Den and successfully secured some investment from Stephen Bartlett. And
no one here knows who that is.
And the last 3 years have just been exponential growth, a wide variety of products, but our mission is to make matcha as accessible as possible and spread positive energy.
Ace. So let's get into it. Speed date round. What does community mean to you?
Community to me is the people that would realize if you didn't show up, they would be the first people to kind of knock on your door and say, where are you? I think you touched on earlier, you can have 1 million followers, but it might be only 10 of those people who are the people who message your account and say, why didn't you post that weekly roundup? You do it every week. Yeah.
I think from my point of view, it's about belonging. I think we all want to belong somewhere and feel like we're an equal. And I think that the feeling like an equal is really important to our clients that are front and center of their communities and not treating them. I think it's nice that we don't use the word fans anymore or audience. Audience is like you're performing to someone. I think community is a perfect word for it, because I think it's about making sure everyone feels valued and part of something where they have a voice. And so I think for us, community is genuinely about belonging to the things that you want to belong to. And I think that the nice thing now is that you can find your home somewhere.
Cute. Right, let's kick off with Perfect TED. You are very much, I'd be surprised if anyone in this room didn't know who and what Perfect TED is. But let's talk about your community, because I feel like that's something that's made you so, like, marketing wise, everyone's talking about it. Everyone wants to follow what you've done. So how have you not only built the community, but how have you kept it so active and engaged?
I think it truly comes back to the founding story. So there are 3 founders at the company, as I mentioned, one of which is the wonderful Marissa, who has anxiety and ADHD. And like anyone, when they were at university, she was reliant on Red Bull and coffees to just get her through all of the work. And when you have a neurodiverse condition, caffeine can exacerbate the negative side effects of those. And a friend of hers recommended to try matcha. Since then, built the business with her now husband and husband's brother. It is a bit of a trio, I know. But I think the founding story and the storytelling within that is what people can relate to. I think going back, you always need to remember why the business started and remembering that moment that got you to where you are now. And we have printed that story on the back of every single piece of packaging. You can have it on the back of the can. And I think that is the connectivity that people can relate to. And if there was no storytelling, I mean, storytelling's age old, so we got to keep it going, and that continues through social media, so we allow people to recognize the vulnerability and the relatability of not only the brand but the product.
And then gone are the days from a celebrity perspective where you could write a big fat check and it'll be a badging exercise. For the brands that are wanting to tap into celebrity influencers, audiences, how do they feel part of that community and do it the right way?
It has changed. It's changed a lot. I think that obviously you still get those things. I saw Olivia Colman's promoting bread nowadays on TV. So I think you still get those moments where you kind of just want to make a statement, I guess. But yeah, for us, things have changed quite heavily. I think that we're all asking more questions of each other now. We're just trying to really work out what the relationship is and why we're even in this thing together. And I think it's really important to have those answers and keep asking why to everything. I think for our talent, they're getting younger and they're getting smarter, and they don't see a check. They don't see things like that. They genuinely see, they genuinely care about what they're putting out there, what they're selling. I don't think people mind being sold to. I don't think that's an issue. I think for us, it's about why we're doing it, what the synergy is, where the authenticity is. I know we use that word a lot, all day, every day, but it is true. And I think it's not about one side hiring another side anymore. I think that's how it used to be. And it's like, we expect you to deliver this and we're going to see how many of your followers follow it. And that's the ROI. I think we're way past that, obviously. I think for us, it's more about we're a team now. And how collectively can we use each other's communities, because the brand has a community, and now the people behind the brands now have a community as well. And how can we do something that actually makes a difference to people, and it isn't just like it's here today and gone tomorrow. I think one of the things that we obviously try and avoid nowadays with our talent are doing quick fix type things. I think it's really important to go on a journey and sort of work out where we want to get to together and why we're doing it. So I think ultimately, the time it takes now for a talent of ours to work with a brand is a lot longer, because we're all asking more questions of what we're trying to do here. And I really like that. I think there are some of our clients, obviously, where you still get those moments, but they're very few and far between now. And I think that the niches and micro creators, I think, are finding their feet big time in the past 18 months.
And so you're going to launch a brand tomorrow based on everything that you've learned about community building at Perfect Ted. What are your non-negotiables if someone here has a brand, wants to build a community to make it, again, two-way and successful?
I'm going to cheat a little here, because I think there was a fantastic book written by Stephen Bartlett, and it's all about growing community. And if you haven't read it, he basically gives you 7 rules. I don't actually know what he defines them as, but
didn't read the book.
And basically, it comes down to those 7 points. So I encourage you to go back and read that, but I'm not going to recite them all now. But one of them really sticks hard with me, and it's kind of what Alex was referring to, is the idea of a temple. And again, going back to age-old traditions that everyone has ingrained in their cultures, and it's a place for people to come and have IRL connections, and that can be in whatever format that comes in. We obviously have the online, and that's an amazing space, but people are hiding behind screens. We saw after COVID, obviously, people want to get back IRL. Our office is 5 days a week, which is great. So that's part of the community of the brand, and we're constantly learning and developing with each other. But as far as more like the followers, we have built the in-person connections by working with out-of-home partners. So cafe chains are basically our community housing spots, and we work with them on signage, we work with them on drinks to develop drinks. And although we don't have the funds and the capacity right now to make a physical spot for our Perfect TED community, we're working with partners and taking the time to work with them to make different spots, those community houses in far-reaching areas, because otherwise it would probably just be London, and we know our community is not just there. So I think
all brands should remember that, right? Especially this move to getting in real life. I can't say IRL, I'm nearly 40. But it is very much this, like, you can't put on an event in London and say you've got your community together and you've understood your customer, because your customer is a lot of people in a lot of different places. I think that's really important.
Yeah, and I mean, not everyone's going to have cafe partners. You've all got different brands, I'm sure, that you're working with or for. But there will be ways that you can partner with someone or communities locally. Send your stock to a local run club. Those people are going to be the brand advocates for you. Find and speak to your actual consumers and see where they live, because you might not be able to know. It's really hard to track, but there will be a way, I'm sure, that you can find a physical temple for everyone to unite.
I'm going to give you a question that I haven't sent you in advance, and you're going to fucking love me for it.
Appreciate
it. You touched on it about how you have brands have communities, celebrities, talent have communities, but we're increasingly seeing founders having communities. He's literally given me the eye that says, I'm going to kill you after this. So there are people in here who are going to have their own businesses. They're going to be thinking about their personal brands. You advise a lot of celebrities, well-known household names around building their audiences, building their communities. So if there's someone here who is looking to build their personal brand and to make it into a community, not just a dick swing on LinkedIn, how would you advise people?
Terminology?
Yes. How would you advise that people do it?
I think the thing that lets everyone down, and what lets our clients down, if they embark on something, whether it's something that they would like to do or whether we feel like it's a good thing for them to do, the thing that lets people down is consistency. I think there's a lot of talented people out there. There's a lot of people with great ideas. I think the ability to understand that at the beginning of anything new, it's going to be very minimal in terms of the ROI on that, and actually go, you know what, I'm going to keep persevering, is where people push through and where they don't. And I think that the frustrating thing for us is we can strategize with our clients all day long, and we do. Every January we sit every client down and we plan a strategy for the year ahead, and we check in on it every quarter, every 6 months. And it's just a shame, because previously as an agent, the majority of the work would come from us finding the opportunities. Now it's not like that. We're in it together. We need each other. We'll create opportunities, but you need to get up and get going. And I think that where we struggle sometimes, where people in general struggle, is consistency. And I think, like for you and I, who have very active Substacks, right? We know it's hard. The first Substack I wrote 2 years ago, I think my mum read it, and that was it. And I was like, "This is
story of my life.
This is not good." She was very nice though. But for us, it's about the consistency. And I see other people. I see our staff. Like, a lot of our staff are very keen on their personal brand, and I'm very keen to push that for them. But it frustrates me when, like, they might start a Substack, they might write it, and then it goes missing. And I'm like, why have you not gone back to that? And they go, well, only 3 people read it. And so I think for us, what's really important with our talent is understanding that everything we're doing, and especially in community building, is not short term. It's not a quick fix. You're not going to, especially for people that are very famous, people that have fans, right? They think that fans equal community, and it is not true. Fans doesn't mean you can sell anything. at all. So we have to go back to the drawing board and build back up from there. But I think what is interesting very quickly for us on talent is that it's allowed us to sign people that 2 to 5 years ago we would never have signed. Previously, you had your sort of pillars of people that you knew could get jobs and you knew that you could represent. Very few pillars. Whereas now, the kinds of people we're representing is so widespread, and it's really cool and very niche as well sometimes.
I mean, Francis is niche.
Francis is niche, yeah.
Right.
Train's niche? Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, Train's
niche. Sorry, threw me. Can you tell me the best quickfire, best thing you've worked on, or the best thing you've seen that's a great example of community?
This is again coming back to IRL and online URL, and I think we had a really great moment where we worked with an out-of-home temple, whatever you want to call it, one of our partners, and we were launching our matcher with them. And they had no matcher fan base whatsoever. We had our fan base. Again, no money involved. We were just partnering because we wanted to get to know each other basically and get a partnership going. And part of the launch, we hosted an influencer event. And then afterwards, we, as part of the influencer event, we gave them green cards, which basically gave them free matcha for a month. And after that, all the influencers were posting, because what influencer doesn't like free matcha for a month? And we hosted a scavenger hunt afterwards for our community, which allowed people to go from seeing it online to in real life. And we had nearly like tens to 100 people, and it was crazy, people turning up and coming from outside of London to pick up these cards. And I think you forget the power of the community and the people there, and it was just a great experience to see that momentum shift.
What was the question? What's your favourite?
What's the best example you've got of community, whether you did it yourself with your talent or seen someone else do it?
I think, in truth, I'm so impressed by everyone who's in our creators division, especially like, you know, some of the names I said earlier, you know, Poppy Hollins, Ayame, Sorrel, Francis, Nella Rose, just the level of care that they take over everything they do, and how front-footed they are in being the team leader, I think is really impressive. And it doesn't matter what they do, because they all do so much, and every day they're doing something different. But they genuinely care about the people that follow them and genuinely care about what they're putting out there. And whether that's a product or whether that's a TV, but whatever it could be, a podcast, everything, you know, they turn so much down because they just feel that even though it might sound good, look good on a press release, look good in their bank account, it doesn't matter if the people that are involved in their community aren't going to buy it, they just run a mile. And so for us, I think I'm just really, and they're all so young, and it's so incredible at how they just have this inbuilt ability to understand that. I think it's really cool. So there isn't one particular thing. I think our creators division is the thing that excites me the most out of probably all 10 things that we do at the moment, for sure.
Amazing. That's time up. Thank you so much for both of you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Just before, because we haven't done any questions all morning, and I am trying to keep things on time this afternoon, but does anyone have any questions for our lovely panel? I'm going to give you the opportunity. If you don't ask any now, I'm not going to let you ask any questions throughout all the rest of the sessions. No questions? Yes. See, thank you. You've saved us. Let me pass you the mic. Please introduce yourself. Let us know where you're from as well, and ask a question.
Thank you. Hi, my name's Kelly. I actually work alongside Romi at Perfect Hair, but you can send me a creative match if you like, but we do have one already. This isn't planted. I think one of the things, I work in our marketing team, one of the things that I find really challenging when it comes to community is how to measure success. It's really easy to measure the success of a performance marketing campaign, like a paid social ad. And you're talking a lot about like followers aren't the right metric. What is the right metric? Is there one? How do I measure it?
I think from our point of view, it's important that we know that at the beginning. I think what can happen quite often is you don't know that, and so you get to the end and they say, can we see all the stats and everything? And you go, God, are they going to be happy? Like, is this what they're looking for? And if it's not what they're looking for, you then, hesitant to send it and all that. But the truth is we should know at the very beginning what the metrics are. I think the metrics of just eyeballs just isn't it anymore at all. I think it's about cultural moment. It's about conversation. It's about, and that's not about numbers. That's just about something actually affecting someone. But I think for us at the beginning, it's really important to know like what we're aiming for and what they consider to be a good result for us. And I think every brand has a different opinion of that. And I don't think it's really for us to set that, but I think it's really important for us to agree what that is at the beginning and know that we can achieve it.
I think from my perspective, it's basically the qualitative, not the quantitative. So as you're saying, like impressions, eyeballs are not necessarily the most important thing, but if you're able to get that in real life conversation and get that qualitative data, or even sending around a survey and getting people's kind of honest thoughts and feelings, and if you're wanting to do that across social media, and that's where your community does live, then it's having a stellar customer service team who are responding all the time. It's having great community managers who are going to respond to all of those messages and actually feed in to your mission at the end of the day.
Brilliant. Thank you, guys. That was really amazing. I must say, I concur. I think it's conversations that matter when it comes to community. That's how I judge it, certainly for the podcast. So I'm just going to get away from in front of being in a big light shining. Well, in fact, there is up here as well. So yeah, a big thank you, guys. That was amazing. So I hope you loved that episode just as much as I did. Honestly, there has been so much gold content from Marketing in the Madness Live, and you are not going to want to miss out. So if you haven't already, wherever you're listening, please make sure you subscribe. And if you want to join us live at the next event, which is coming up in March 2026, go and connect with me on LinkedIn, Katie Street, and make sure you follow the Marketing in the Madness Live page, and I will make sure that you get one of our VIP invites.